All right, today we're diving into a classic, G.L. Fuentes' story, A Letter to God. It's a really simple but incredibly powerful tale that gets you thinking about faith, about human kindness, and what happens when those two things collide in a way you would never, ever expect.
So let's start with the big question that this whole story is built around. What if you were so desperate that you reached out to God for help and somehow you actually got an answer? What would that look like? Let's find out.
So first, let's meet our main character, Lencho. He's a farmer, and his whole life, his whole world is tied to his land. He lives in this little house on a hill, and from there he can see the one thing that matters most to him, his field of corn.
But you have to understand, Lencho is more than just a farmer. The key thing about him, the thing that drives this entire story, is his faith. It's not complicated. It's just this simple, absolute, almost childlike belief that God is involved in everything. And this faith is, well, it's so pure it's almost stubborn.
And when we first meet him, everything seems to be proving him right. He's looking up at the sky, he sees these rain clouds rolling in, and he's just filled with joy. He even tells his family that the big raindrops are like new coins falling from the sky. For him, this isn't just water. It's a promise from God that they're going to be okay.
But you know how stories go. Just as quickly as that hope arrives, it's about to be violently torn away. That blessing that was falling from the sky is about to turn into a complete and total catastrophe.
And just like that, everything changes. That gentle, promising rain gets angry. Strong winds kick up, and then, along with the rain, these massive hailstones start to fall. What was a promise of prosperity a minute ago is now a storm of pure destruction.
I mean, the storm doesn't just damage the crops, it absolutely obliterates them. The entire field is left white, like it's been covered in salt. There's not a single leaf left. You can just imagine Lencho's heart sinking as he realizes his family's now facing a year of hunger.
Now, faced with total ruin, most of us would probably just fall into despair, right? But not Lencho. See, he's got one thing left that the storm couldn't touch, that unshakable faith. And it leads him to an idea that is as simple as it is absolutely extraordinary.
And get this, Lencho doesn't just pray for some vague general help. No, he's specific. He does the math. He figures he needs exactly 100 pesos to get his family through the year and to plant a new crop. And in his mind, there's only one person to ask. So his plan is beautifully direct. He sits down, writes a letter explaining the whole hailstorm situation, asks for the 100 pesos, and then he puts it in an envelope, addresses it simply to God, and mails it. For him, there's no question that this will work. It's just a matter of logistics.
And in a strange way, that letter does reach its destination. Maybe not the one Lencho was picturing, but it ends up in the hands of someone who actually has the power to do something about it. And this is where the story takes a turn, and we see human kindness step onto the stage. The postmaster's reaction is just fascinating. He sees this letter addressed to God, and at first he just bursts out laughing. I mean, can you blame him? But then, just as quickly the laughter stops, he's genuinely touched by the raw power of this person's faith, and he makes this incredible decision. A faith like that, he thinks, can't be broken. He decides he's going to answer the letter himself.
But, it's not that easy. 100 pesos is a pretty significant amount of money. So the postmaster, he gives part of his own salary, and he asks his employees to chip in. He does his best, but he only manages to pull together a little more than half of what Lencho asked for, 70 pesos. He puts the money into an envelope for Lencho and signs it with just one word, God. So this is it, the big moment. The act of charity is done. The postmaster and his staff are watching, probably feeling pretty good about themselves, as Lencho strolls into the post office to see if his letter has arrived. And here is where the story gets really wild. Lencho gets the letter, and he doesn't show the slightest bit of surprise. Not even a little. His faith is so total that to him, getting money from God is just the expected outcome. This isn't some miracle. It's just God answering his mail. So he opens the envelope, and he counts the money. But it's not the 100 pesos he asked for. It's the 70 pesos that the postmaster worked so hard to collect.
And his reaction is not what anyone would ever predict. He's not grateful for the 70 pesos. He's not even confused. He is furious. Because in Lencho's mind, God would never make a mistake. God would have sent the full 100. So if some of the money is missing, well, there can be only one explanation.
Without skipping a beat, Lencho grabs another piece of paper and writes a second letter to God. In it, he says basically,
Thanks for the money, but please send the other 30 pesos. And whatever you do, don't send it through the mail, because the post office employees are a bunch of crooks. He thinks the very people who helped him stole from him.
So, what are we supposed to make of that ending? It's incredible, right? This story is so much more than just a funny anecdote. It's really a deep look at faith, kindness, and how our own beliefs can shape and sometimes distort our reality.
This is really where the story's big ideas all slam into each other. You have Lencho's absolute, unwavering faith, which is so powerful it inspires a total stranger to an incredible act of kindness. But then you have this profound, almost painful irony where those two positive forces crash and the good deed gets punished. The helpers are accused of being the villains.
And that's really the question the story leaves us chewing on. Lencho's faith was pure, there's no doubt about it. But it also created a kind of tunnel vision. He was so sure he knew exactly how help was supposed to arrive that he couldn't see the real, messy, beautiful human kindness that was standing right in front of him. It's a great reminder, I think, to try and stay open and to look for goodness in people, not just in the places we expect to find it.